Welcome to International Racing League IRL Season 6 F1 tier, round 8 in Spain. We should be going underway very shortly. Unfortunately, we only have 11 drivers today, as we're having a bit of PSN problems, so some people may not be able to join because of PSN, which is unfortunate. I know some people were looking forward for this race, but even with that, we'll still have an exciting race with 11 drivers. As we are loading in currently right now, we'll go into the standings and look at the standings recently. As Matthew Alder's got a big lead of 127 points. Mark in second's got 87 points. So a lot of points, a big gap there between those two drivers. Could Mark catch up to Matthew? We'll have to wait and see in this race. Jay is in third place still with 63 points. Louis, after he won last week, also took the fastest lap at Italy, is in fourth. Brandon Glover in fifth. As we can see, it's sunny currently right now in Spain. Can in sixth with 42 points. Seventh is Jacko, the defending champion, so he's dropped a few positions. 33 points. Sondre is eighth in the Renault with 31 points, and Cameron Young is with tying with Harrison in the Alpha for 9th and 10th with 28 points. And I'm just going to read the top 10 for the constructors. Renault are leading by 158 points, as I'm just getting everything sorted out there quick. With Haas close in second with 115, and a bit of a gap from Alpha with 87 points, but they've closed quite quickly. As I've got no game sound, so I need another invite. As I'll just back out and rejoin the session. But as I'll keep going down the order, as Red Bull in fourth with 78 points, Mercedes in fifth with 55 points, Toro Rosso sixth 45, a few points ahead of Race Point in seventh with 42 points, 37 points for McLaren in eighth, and ninth for Ferrari with 14 points, and 10th is Williams with 12 points. As I'm just going to rejoin the lobby. For some reason Matthew's invited me to something. If I can, I should have a spare invite. I do, so I should be able to join. Hopefully there is no issue. I am back in the lobby. Hopefully we can fix this sound thing, and Codemasters, please fix this bug because it's a pain. As we're just loading in back now. And there we go, we have game sound, so everything is good. As we'll go on board with... oh, Matthew actually isn't on a lap. I think Mark was actually the closest one, or was it Cameron? No, it was Mark. Make sure everything is correct, and it is. So we're about to start our first lap with Mark SB, I believe the first one out on a lap in quali. See what he can do around Spain today, see if he can close his gap to the championship leader currently, Matthew Alder, in Spain, as the Haas driver now is turning into turn one. Hits the curb there, misses the second curb, which can cost him a bit of time, but he is on the hard tyres. Runs a bit wide out of turn 3, staying 7th gate into turn 4, nice and tidy entry. Good exit out there, no spinning out. Oh, I know one driver who has been struggling today with turn 4, and his name is Brandon Glover, and I believe that's Cameron just slowing down for a driver behind. As we are currently watching Mark fly through the little chicane area, approaching the fast right-hander. You've got to get this right, run too far wide and you will hit the gravel and go into the wall. Hits the DRS zone, climbing up to 190 miles an hour before he hits his braking zone. Nice and tidy. Yellows again in sector 2, I think that was maybe because someone's lost it. As now we're coming to the final part of the lap. Got to get this nice and nailed because you can lose a lot of time. Oh, a bit of the rear kicks out there from Mark. See what he can do around the final corner. DRS active, see what time it's going to be. It's going to be a 119.2 on a set of hard tyres. I know Brandon Glover was second, and he's done a 120.8, and I think he messed up, but there's yellows all over. Someone is gone, and I believe that is actually Jay. Jay has done something and it's cost him a lot of time, and I believe Can's actually on a lap and Lee is not, and that's going to affect Can's time. Can take second, only 4/10 off Mark. However, Lee wasn't on a lap, he was starting his lap and kind of possibly costed Lee a bit of time, as we're going to go and watch Lee Kelly right now since he is on a lap. Runs extremely wide into turn 2. New fast lap from Tom, 1:19.2 on a new set of hard tyres. Only 14 thousandths of a second faster than Mark. So we'll have to wait and see what Lee can do in sector 1 at 22.5. Don't know if that's quick or slow since it is his first time round. Oh, he runs extremely wide into turn 4 there. Into turn 5, no locking up on the brakes. As an interesting fact, Leroy and Cameron Young are on no ABS today, so they are testing out no ABS and see how they are doing. And there is a car off there. I don't know who that is. It's a Haas driver. Is that Cameron Young? It is. Cameron Young's already made a mistake and lost his front wing. As here comes, oh, as he runs and uses the escape rod, I believe, to let Cam through. As now we are approaching on the final sector now. He's in sector 3, Lee. He is on the hard tyre and he's losing it, and he is round. Lee has bottled it in quali, which is a very surprise as he's reversing. He has to be careful he doesn't get disqualified, because it can happen. As we'll go on board with Sondre Sorhaug, who's also into the gravel. Cars are losing it today, as we'll go on board with Sterling, who's now approaching the final part of the track. Kept it within track limits. A bit run wider, that could have been an invalidation. We'll have to wait and see what he can do around the final corner. What time is it going to be? It is an invalid lap, as I believe, unless he is on a lap now, as for some reason my tyres are not up when they were. No, he has been on 2 laps and he's invalid. However, there's yellows in sector 3. Is that the bottle? It is not the bottle. I don't know who that is. As Nino Romanella's third, only 300ths almost off the leader. The battle for the lead is quite close. Remember, there is a few drivers who haven't gone. It looks like Sondre is going to give it another go, so we're going to stay on board with Sondre. Oh, sorry, I do apologise. Cameron is actually using ABS. He isn't using ABS for this race. I do believe Lee is. My apologies, I got that information wrong. As now we approach Sondre now on his flying lap. See what he can do. Doesn't run too wide into the corner. Runs extremely wide though out of turn 2. That's going to cost him a bit of time. Now, at entry into turn 3, runs a bit wide. He's going to lose a lot of time with that little mistake he's made there, but it is the hard tyres. This could be a banker for him unless he is trying to go on the hard tyres, and it is going to be an interesting one-stop strategy, I believe, today. Because apparently you could go soft to hard, but it will be a push, or it will be the normal strategy, medium to hards or harder mediums. As Tom sets the new fastest lap, 1:18.7, 5/10 quicker than Mark. So a new fast lap. Oh, Sondre used the escape, so he must have invalidated somewhere. As Nino's coming to the line, what time is it going to be? Well, that is a glitch time. It said then he was 33 thousandths improvement. As who is on a lap? Jay is actually on an out lap currently. As we'll get on board with him. Just going to make sure my audio's good, because for some reason it just, yeah, it's on max. I don't know. Just make sure everything. Here comes Jay preparing for his lap. As MySpeed sets a new fastest lap, only 12 thousandths faster than Tom this time. 1:18.7, so these two are very close currently on qualifying runs. Now Jay, will he come back after a bit of a disappointing race in Italy after he got a 15-second time penalty with a collision with Matthew Alder, which lost him, I believe, a podium position, which gave Cameron Young the podium. Will Jay come back and fight for a win today? Yes, he is still a title contender, but he has to watch out with Louis, who's in 4th, who's currently gaining on him in the points. He's only done 2 races and already got 51 points. But it'll be a big push for Louis to catch up with Matthew. He's got a big lead currently. But now he's tired, he's sort of far through Jay. It's a bit slow through there, actually, it looked like that. As now he's coming up to the fast right-hander. See what he can do. Nice within track limits. Using DRS. straight to 194. I think that's the quickest drive I've seen go down there to that speed on a set of hard tyres. Oh, but he's messed up. Something's gone wrong for Jay. Something's gone extremely wrong for Jay there. As we'll go on board with Can currently. He's on a new set of mediums, 3/10 up on his time currently right now, as he's actually catching up with Jay currently. I think Jay actually may have invalidated it on the fast right, so let's see how Can takes it. Lifts off a little bit, but decent exit there, even with that little bit of a lift off, and approaching 193 miles an hour down the DRS zone. Got to get this corner right, because this corner can fly you off, as we've seen as it almost flies Can off there. But a great save there from Can just to keep it. Oh, as he makes another mistake, and he's that's it. That is game over. Will he give it another run? I believe he might. So we'll stay on board with him, unless he does peel into the pits. We'll have to wait and see. As he is peeling into the pits. As we'll go on board back with Jay, actually, because I think he is on another lap, and he's messed up again, apparently. What about Lee Kelly? Lee Kelly is on a lap this time. Good evening, Brandon. Welcome to the stream. As Lee Kelly is on a start of his lap, ERS mode 4, fast ERS down the main straight. See what he top speed, 203 miles an hour into the first turn he goes. Great camera view. Bit of correction on the steering there from Lee Kelly. Nice entry though into turn 3. Great exit out there from Lee Kelly. Now he's approaching turn 4. You got to get this right. One little mistake can force you outright into the gravel trap. Nice and tidy there, so far from Lee, as he's in now sector 2. Great driving there from Lee. Right now he's cleanest driver I've seen currently on the lap. Not made that many mistakes. As he's approaching now the fast right-hander, see if he's going to make this right. Or is he going to get an invalidation? We'll have to wait and see. Oh, close to an invalidation that could have been. As now he's approaching the double left-hander. Got to get this right. As you've seen, Can made a mistake. Will Lee do it? Wait and see. Lee avoids going over the curb, which could cost him a bit of time. Now, will Lee respect track limits within the chicane? I know in quality it won't allow it, but what about the race? A nice tie there so far from Lee. He's now approaching the final corner to complete his flying lap. Let's see what he can do. DRS out. 119 flat, promotes himself to P3 there. Almost quicker than Tom. Only 3/10 off him on a harder compounder tyre. As Matthew Alder currently left via Sartadoin CRG esports team. So let's see what Blizzard can do today with his teammate currently in P9, 10 seconds off the pace currently. For some reason I had it on leader when it should have been fastest lap. But there you go, there is. Oh, Matthew makes a very big mistake in that fast right there, and Nino has been disqualified from the session for driving the wrong way. That is very disappointing for Nino, since he was P4 and now will be starting in P11. As I believe Matthew will be on another attempt, unless this is going to be his banker, with only 5 minutes and 57 seconds remaining of the session. And that is a corner cut into the pits. A little bit of a mistake there from Matthew. It's not like him. As we'll go on board with Cameron. Oh, actually, no, we'll go on board with Sterling. Oh, Sterling's made a mistake there. I don't know if he deliberately made that mistake to go in the pits, but he was 1.3 seconds up apparently on his Delta. As we'll go back on board with Can now, because he is on his new set of medium tyres, it looks like. And he's flooring it currently right now. Nice tie through turn 3. Oh, one's a bit wide though out of turn 3. Could have cost him a bit of time. Goes in 4th gear into turn 5 there. As Marcus resets new fastest lap, 118.5 on the set of hard tyres. So builds up his lead by 2/10 over. Oh, Tom, actually, I apologise for Tom. Tom's time was actually on the set of hards, a 118.7. But Cameron Young, Mark's teammate, where's this pace come from? A 118.6. Where's the Haas pace come from? Are the Haas finally going to challenge the Renaults for today in Spain? We'll have to wait and see, because Matthew Alder is still into the pits, and Sondre is currently 9th right now, with a banker of a 128.8. With only 4 minutes and 33 seconds of session remaining, they will have to get out soon before they hit traffic. However, Can's now approaching the final corner. Did he make a mistake? We didn't see, but it is an improvement. 118.4, the new fast lap is on the medium tyres, however, but he's currently in the lead. Great lap there from Can for an 18.4. As we'll go on board with, there's actually nobody else out on track currently except Can. And I know Mark and, yeah, Robert Count, yeah, all these three now coming in on the in-laps. However, the Brandon, the man, is out on a set of medium tyres in the Merc. He will be the first one to set a lap on those tyres of the group he's with. And he'll be the only one out on track. I just have to have a look at some of that. As Bran is warming up on his outlap currently right now, approaching into Sec 3 now. So he will be getting underway very shortly to see how quick Bran can be on those medium tyres. Will he steal pole off Can? We'll have to wait and see. Because currently it's only the net pole currently. As Jay's also coming out of mediums. A lot of people on mediums except the Haas drivers. They're all on hards and they are in the pit and they are looking to go on the medium tyres. So it looks like a definitely one-stop strategy, and that must mean the race is either clear or there's going to be rain near the end. Enough of that though. It's now time to go on board with Brandon now on is a flying lap on the set of medium tyres. Speed of around about 202 miles an hour. Nice entry into turn 4. Goes over the curb into turn 3. Nice time. That's going to give him a bit of time there. Does only lift off a little bit just to make the corner. Topping, stays in gear 6, and great start of the lap from Brandon there. Going to turn 4 now. He has made mistakes here recently and he's running a bit wide, but he corrects it instantly. Coming into turn 5 now, a bit of a lock up there from Bran. It's going to cost him a little bit of time. He may have gained into turn 2. However, now he's approaching the little fast left and right. Got to get this right, basically aim for a straight line, but he makes a mistake under pressure. That lap is over for Brandon and he will be saving fuel to give it another go. So he will still be the first one, I believe, to set a lap on the mediums, and Can is going on a set of soft tyres to start his quality. I don't think that is the smartest decision, because the soft tyres and the hard try hards to the end is going to be risky for Puncher and possibly the slowest strategy. But we'll have to wait and see what Can do, since he doesn't think he can hold the lead currently. But we're about to start with Bran again on his new fast lap. However, Jay is on a lap behind him. It's only in sector 2, so we will go on board with Jay very shortly, as Jay's actually got traffic. Actually, we'll go on board with him now. He's got traffic over McLaren there. That is Lee Kelly. As Lee Kelly, I think, is actually, Jay's actually invalidated there, so we will go back on board with Brandon. However, there's yellows in sector 2. Is that Brandon? It isn't Brandon. Brandon is still on a lap. Almost 3/10 improvement in sector 1. So we will go on board with whoever next to go on the outlap, so I will keep an eye on that. Nice tide there from Bran. Coming up to the fast right. Nice and tidy exit. So for yells in sector 3, that's for traffic, it looks like. As it looks like Tom will be the next person to be on a lap, so we will go on board with Tom straight after Brandon's finished his lap. Brandon's really low on fuel. Brandon knows if he makes this little mistake and it is game over. As Can needs to get out of the way. Brand is on a lap, but Can is actually starting his laps, and he doesn't actually have to get out of the way, and he's flying already on those soft tyres. As here comes Brandon now to the line. What time's it going to be? It's going to be a 118.3 on a set of medium tyres, only a 10th faster than Can on the same tyre. Now we'll go on board with Tom now, currently in sector 2 in the Ferrari. Unfortunately, his teammate Edward is not here today, so we'll see what he can do. As Brandon has actually retired on track. Hopefully that hasn't affected anybody on their laps. As here comes now Tom, has got Jay dead ahead of him, so Jay will be on a lap as well with Lee close behind, and that is definitely an invalidation for Lee Kelly, running extremely wide there out of that fast right-hander. Ooh, bit of a corrective steering there from Tom. as he hit the curb, as he yelled it again in sector 1 and 2. As we will go on board with actually Matthew Alder straight after this, who hasn't actually done a lap yet. As here comes Tom now through the final corner. Will he steal pole position off Brand, or Will can do it? Jay does it right at the moment, 117.7. But Tom beats that, 117.6. And Matthew Alder looks like he'll be starting at the back of the grid with Nino Romanello after he hasn't done a lap. So something's gone wrong for the Renault driver there. What about Sondre? Sondre is now approaching the final corners now. What time will Sondre do? This will be, I believe, his first time he's ever beaten his teammate in qualifying, and it promotes him to P6, 118.2. A few tenths off Lee Kelly, a few thousand actually from Lee Kelly, but a few tenths off the driver ahead. So that is qualifying over, and I'm very surprised that Matthew Alder actually didn't set a lap time. Currently, we'll start the back grid with Nino, and Nino's got a free choice of tyre. So currently right now your leader is Tom with a 117.6 on a set of medium tyres. Second place is Mark and his teammate in third. Very close between these two for the top three. Only a few hundredths between. With Jay in fourth, we're a tenth behind. Lee Kelly in fifth with a couple more tenths behind the leader. With Sondre in P6, beating Brandon Glover in seventh. Can drops to eighth place after didn't set a time on those soft tyres. Sterling in P9 with a 119.2 on a set of mediums, and Matthew Alder didn't set a lap after he made a mistake, and Nino Romanello has actually lagged out of the session because he got disqualified, so there'll probably only be 10 drivers. This may also be a restart if Nino tries to rejoin the session. We'll have to wait and see, but I doubt there'll be a restart. It's probably just Nino lagged out, and he isn't on the grid, so we'll have to wait and see. As it is dries. Yeah, it's unfortunate. I don't know why he's actually lagged out, unless he's left. But has that actually glitched the lobby out? As I've just realised, I forgot to do the qualifying prediction, so I'm going to go with the race prediction, definitely. I think Jay is going to win this race today with Cameron Young close in second place, and I believe actually Mark's going to hold third. I think Matthew Alder's going to get fifth today if he's lucky with a comeback drive, if he avoids any incidents into turn 1. I have seen Matthew, he is quick around here, but we'll have to wait and see, as everyone's now picking their strategies. As the formation is going, is there going to be a restart? Nino is in his garage, as the Renaults didn't get going. I think that may be a restart. Is it that Nino can't get in his car? Will it be a restart? It possibly may be a restart, so he's probably going to have to restart the lobby out, which will be annoying, but it has to happen. I'll just find out any information. Do apologise there for the blue screen. I think it may be a restart. If it's going to be a restart, it's going to have to be done soon, because right now it's unfair for Nino. Messaging everyone just to make sure if there is going to be a restart or not. In my opinion, there should be a restart because it's unfair for Nino. However, currently we are getting ready to go out on track and everything is ready. 2 lights, 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights, and we're waiting for the lights to go out, and off they go. And it looks like Tom had a very poor start, but it looked like it from my point of view, but he actually looks like he's defended his start, and both fast drivers didn't have the best either. But look at the J's making it 3 wide into turn 1, and there's contact between the Haas drivers already into turn 1. Reminds me of the Mercedes situation. And Lee Kelly is round. Lee Kelly has been with contact one of the drivers. Has Nino actually made it back? The lobby says he has, but it's a bit of a glitch there. For some reason, I don't know what's going on currently right now because Nino can't get into his car. If there is going to be a restart, guys, it will have to be sorted soon because we can't have too many laps unfold and then the restart won't happen. Sondre and Matthew are battling it out. It looks like Sondre made a mistake there, and I don't think Sondre's actually read his message. And we have got information confirmed there will be a restart since Nino cannot get into his car. So all this battling, unfortunately, this is a good battle between Tom and Cameron, but unfortunately it's going to have to be stopped right now because there has to be a restart, and everyone looks like they're going to have to accept it. It's only going to be a quick one. It's unfortunate Nino's game bugged him out. So I have said it in chat, there will be a restart, and I'm waiting for Bottle to leave the lobby and Matthew to leave the lobby, so then I can leave and I get another invite to the new lobby. There we go, Lee's retired, so they all know it's a restart. I thought it was safety car then. I'll just leave now, actually wait for my invite. Well then, my race prediction deal still stands. Everyone has to have the right choice of tyre. If anyone of the drivers are watching the stream, what they started on in quality, or you possibly will be either disqualified or you'll be getting a penalty added either to your next race or this race. So I'm waiting for Matthew Alder to re-invite me to the lobby. As I do gotta say that 200 subscribers for International Racing League is very good to hear. We are 200 subscriber. Whoever that is who subscribed for the 200, it's always appreciated, and Sondre and Cameron and all the other admins will appreciate all the support they do get to make this league grow and be successful, as I'm waiting for my invite. Apologise guys for the delay, I'm just waiting for Matthew to make it all work, as I've just been sent my invite now. Thank you Sorhaug for the invitation. Billy O'Connor, where do I recognise that name from? I need to go spectator quickly. Good evening Billy, welcome to the stream. So hopefully everyone has got the grid as we wait Matthew to sort the grid out. So we have got everyone back in the lobby, which is good to see that no one has actually just left because it's a restart. Actually, no we haven't, we are missing one driver and I don't know who that is. Who is it? Who are we missing? Brand's in. Alright, there was 2 Hasses, which are in, there was 2 Renaults. No Alpha, no Toro. No Williams. I don't get who's missing. Who's missing? We had more than this. Someone is missing. Ah, Sterling. That's the one. We're missing Sterling. Alright, cheers Matthew. Hopefully he can join as soon as possible. Now my YouTube is deciding to act up while we're at. And there we go. But I'm still waiting for still. Matthew, you are interested in still know it's a restart. My theory you should, because I have texted the chat. But as we wait for still, I'll invite him as well. I should have him on my friends list. As he's in the lobby, great to see him join, that's alright. So we should be going underway very shortly. Get on board with the Spanish Grand Prix. As I'm just making sure everything is correct. Yep, no issues so far. Oh, Matthew, if you're in stream, sort the weather out, because it needs to be whatever the weather was. It can't be dynamic. It was light cloud or race. Alright, good man. As it looks like we're going underway, which is good to see. Just making sure I'm not going to have any problems with PSN, as PSN is now fixed, which is a good sign to know. As PSN, they have fixed the issue, and that was very quick, so thanks Sony or PlayStation. Just getting all the information back up. And there we go. So just to remind all the drivers, the final chicane, the final right to the second to last corner on the right hander in the chicane, don't cut that corner because you will be penalised, because it doesn't do it on strict corner cutting. For some reason it doesn't actually say you've cut the corner when you have. he will be penalised at the end of the race. So as everyone now repicks their setups to get on their right choice of tyre, you've got to start on the mediums or whatever tyre you started on in quali. I mean what you qualified on. And then we'll get underway, and it looks like everyone is in this time. There's no glitch or anything. Which is good to see. It actually might not let them do it. People have made setups changes, but yep, looks good. They know how to free choice tyre, so you can choose any tyre you want. He was disqualified, so Nino should be happy actually with that disqualification, because he could have, if there's a big incident into turn 1, he could avoid it. However, though, I still think the Haas drivers could do well today. As the formation restarts, and off we go on the formation lap with Tom in pole position after his qualifying lap. Mark SB in second place, with his teammate close behind in third, Cameron Young in the Haas. Fourth place is Jay, so Jay is looking very confident for a podium today after he did a report in the radio chat. Oh, as it looks like actually Cameron actually has made a mistake there, I believe. It is Cameron who's made a little mistake there into turn 3. However though, Jay did express his annoyance with Lee Kelly on qualifying. Apparently Lee Kelly actually held him up a little bit and it cost Jay a lot of time in quali there, so that's probably why Jay is in P4 currently, with Lee in 5th. A good quality position so far for him. He's doing very well so far, with the bottle in 6th. First time he's out-qualified his teammate, I do believe, as well, which should bring a little bit of a smile onto his face. He out-finished his teammate in... Oh no, he didn't, not in Italy. He didn't out-finish him actually. Matthew actually repassed him, with Brandon in 7th with his team. We're happy with his teammate returning after a long break is Nino Romanello. Can in P8 there. An alright quality on mediums. Was going to go on the softs and try and take pole position, but he knew straight away that was not the smartest decision to take. With Sterling running extremely wide at the final 2 corners, with Matthew Alder in 10th. But the championship leader got a lot of work to do, with Nino Romanello close behind on a set of hard tyres. Now that is a very interesting strategy call. I'm surprised he hasn't gone on the mediums, as we are going to go on board with the tyres, because I ain't got that up for some reason, as everything is up, and they're the only 2 on a set of hard tyres, so they are going to be probably the slowest strategy at this far, but they're going to gain a lot of time near the end of the race, as Tom now gets the grid lined up in pole position. As we're waiting for Matthew Alder and Nino Romanello to slot in their final grid slots. One retirement can make everyone finish a point, so here we go now. Green flags are about to go as we're coming up to the first set of lights. 3, 4 lights, 5 lights, and off they go. And this time Cameron gets the same start as last 6. That's Mark. I do apologise, I get Mark and Cameron a bit mixed up there. Mark actually got a better start this time, but so is Jay. Jay's running into 3, almost 4 wide into turn 1 there, and Jay is still on the inside. Oh, it's big contact from Tom into Mark, which has forced Jay around into P6. In the P6, Jay is going to be furious. No wing damage looks like on the Red Bull, so he might have actually got away with Scott Clean. Ballhaug is in P10th, battling with Lee Kelly in 9th. So Lee again has been avoided in an instant at the start, and has actually let Sondre through there with a lot of wing damage there from Lee Kelly and Sterling on the left side of the Williams. And the McLaren is now, Lee Kelly is now attacking Sondre with a battle for P9 with Sterling on the outside in the Williams. Just got ahead of Lee Kelly, and Sondre is just keeping ahead of Sterling. Oh, that's a bit of a corner cut there from Sondre there, but he has to heal soon, and he's forcing Sterling a bit out wide, but Sondre makes a little mistake there. Now we go back to the battle for the lead. Tom now leads in pole position, currently with Mark in 2nd, Cameron Young in 3rd, Brandon Glover in P4 now, so Brandon's doing a very good job. Could get his first podium of the season, I believe. Can in P5, holding up Jay with a bit of contact at the start. Will anyone corner cut? We'll have a make sure on everybody. Oh, Can makes a little bit of a corner cut there. That could be a mess. Get sorted, Matthew, it looked like, but I could be wrong. They could have just got within track limits. And Sterling and Lee are in the pits. as we come back onto broadcast view. Sterling gets 5-second time penalty, speeding in the pit lane. So he's going on a set of hard tyres, which I don't believe will make it to the end, unless he does a 2-stop. Nope. Yep, he is going hard tyres, Matthew Alder. But Sterling's going on a new set of mediums, it may be, looking like. Lee's also on a set of medium tyres as well. Sterling's actually left the session, so he's actually called it quits. I don't understand why, since there was a lot to go on with that race. Hopefully he can make it back to the session if he feels like he wants to join. There's only 10 cars running currently right now, with Tom still leading with a 6/10 gap lead currently over Mark. Cameron Young's not that far behind off his teammate, and maybe there may be team orders to play, because Cameron Young looks the quicker driver currently right now. And Cameron Young has been showing it recently. He has been the quicker than Mark recently, so we have to wait and see what the Haas team will do. As currently Tom is still holding a good gap. However, Brandon's dropped off from the Haas drivers in P4. Jay's still 5th, gaining quite quickly though on Brandon. Currently 6/10 of a second, with Can in P6 losing time. 1.3 seconds currently now after he's been passed by Jay. Nino in P7, 1 second off Can. That's a possible battle. So Nino's actually had a very good start and avoided a lot of contact from the start of the race, as Tom sets a new fastest lap. But will Nino beat that lap? No, Jay does, a 1:21.2. Currently the new fastest lap is, as Tom still leads, still got the Haas drivers on his tail. But right now the top 3 is Ferrari engine powered currently right now, as Lee has passed the AI of Sterling. As Sondre now peels into the pits, he's had front wing damage again. Another bad day it looks like it's going to be for Renault. Reminds them of the early Grand Prix. So far the Renault team are struggling. But it's only the start of the race, it's very early. You never know, the Renaults could come out of nowhere and actually win this race. As currently Tom is still leading with Mark in 2nd place, 6/10 of a second. Actually, Cameron's actually dropped a bit back there off his team, but he's closed a bit there in the approach to the fast right-hander, and he must be getting annoyed that his teammate is costing him a lot of time. But look at Jay. Jay is catching up with Brandon as well. So right now the big team winners today could be Mercedes and Haas today, with the biggest points over Renault, as they've got over a pit stop again. Maybe Matthew Alder is probably going to try and stretch those hard tyres to the end. I don't think it is possible. Probably from lap 6 possible, yes, but not from this distance. As currently Jay, extreme track limits, got to make sure nobody else cuts the corner, and no one has cut the corner so far. As I will go on board with Matthew Alder dead quick, as he's actually not in the sector yet. As look at Jay going on the inside into turn 1 of Brandon. Brandon sees he's there. Oh, bit of contact there. Jay's going to give him room. They give each other room, and Jay's got past quite easily there, as the gap for the front is hotting up though. Almost same distance apart from the top 3. Just under a second currently. Right now, this is very close right now between the Haas drivers against the Ferrari. Hopefully we don't see any contact like the Mercedes did in 2016 with Rosberg and Lewis Hamilton crashing into turn 4 entry into the gravel trap. Oh, bad X there from Cameron Young as he was carrying too much speed, but they're going to have to worry. Jay's not that far behind in P4, coming back after a bit of contact with Tom. As we've got to pay attention now, we're going to stay on cockpit view on Mark. Let's see what he can do with a bit of telemetry this time. We'll see how much ERS he is burning. He is catching up in this part of the lap. And no mistakes so far. Oh, that's just within tolerance there with Jay, not exceedingly cutting the corner. I've just got to make sure no one is cutting the corner today. We're 121 point flat for Jay. What a lap on a set of medium tyres. He is getting us. Tom has lost the position to Mark. Mark's on the outside. Into turn 2 he goes. Side by side they go. And this reminds me of IRL F2 last season with Miggy Lee and Joe Hollis. But unfortunately, it was side by side all the way through. And Mark's made that move quite easy. Now Cameron now can focus his attack on Tom and then focus on his teammate for the win today. But he has to worry. Jay is closing with Brandon not that far behind in P5. Any mistake from the top 3 could actually easily get Brandon a podium position. This is a very close battle so far. However, Nino is also catching up with Can, so we will stay on board that battle as Jay's made a huge mistake there into the fast left-right section, the little chicane. As look at that, Mark's now pulling away from Tom, but he's not safe. DRS range is still within effect. It's very hard to pull away off this track. Nice and tight there through the chicane. As Mark is now pulling away, but not enough. Not enough at all. Still got 5/10, and this is actually affecting Cameron, really. It's almost a 5-way battle for the lead. I didn't get that poor camera view there. As I'm going to go on board with Cameron Young. Is he going to go for a feisty move on the inside of turn 1? No, he don't. He's too far back. But the DRS is there to help him. He is faster in the straight line, but it looks like Mark, his teammate, is not helping him at all with the extra DRS he's giving into Tom in the slipstream. But surprisingly though, Mark managed to hold it from Tom with a bit of a gap he pulled out of the final corner. Just still closing after that little mistake. 1.2 seconds currently now. Brandon 2 seconds off Jay, and the gap to the leader from Brandon is almost 4.2 seconds. The gap from the leader from Matthew though is 31.6, so miles over a pit stop. So either Matthew's made another mistake out of nowhere. Oh no, but now Jay is almost within DRS range. Oh, just under 2/10 off DRS range right now. 500ths off DRS range right now. He could get DRS. He's within DRS range, so we will be seeing a 4-way battle for the lead very shortly, as we will stay on board with Cameron. Oh, that is a corner cut. That could be crucial. I did see a corner cut there, a little bit off Jay. That may be within tolerance. We'll have to wait and see at the end of the race, and you'll find out if there was any penalties for next week. As here comes Cameron. He's had enough waiting, but no, he still can't find a way past by Tom. Tom is doing excellent defensive, keeping up with Mark to have that DRS, but it won't last forever, because surely his tyres will be falling off a cliff with that dirty air. We're saying that Jay's tyres will fall off even worse, as Nino's finally got past Cam round the outside into turn 3. Great move there from Nino. It was a great comeback from after he's only done 2 races, and I believe in Italy he actually didn't finish. So it's actually a good move there from Nino Romanello, passing Can there. As we'll go on board with Cameron. Look how close he is. Mark's almost pulled. Can gets his first 3-second time penalty. Mark has almost pulled within that second barrier. And actually look at this. Cameron's actually now quicker in the final sector over Tom, but then just loses it on exit. Coming into the little chicane. Got to get this right. No like corn cutting or anything, because as he does that correctly, and he's just losing time on the exit in his back end. Looked like it was sliding there. I don't know if that was connection issues or anything like that, but that back end didn't look stable. And Jay is within this second now. And currently the gap between Jay and Brandon is 4.3, so these lot are flying compared to Brandon. As it's now 2 Haas drivers, a Ferrari and a Red Bull, battling for pole position. 2 championship contenders and 1 possible championship contender, Cameron Young. As new fast lap from Matthew Alder, currently 120.9. He's going to have to set a lot more fastest laps if he wants to have a chance to win this race, to close up within a pit stop, and somehow, for a miracle, those tyres will make it to the end of the race. But you can see Mark right there is just a lot faster than Tom, and this dirty air is affecting Cameron so much right now that he's just losing grip everywhere. Brandon's still losing time. We'll go on board with Jay on cockpit view currently right now into sector 3, see if he gains any time. And he's actually not getting that much time though through sector 3. How about the fast left and right? Got to make sure you hit it right. Oh, a bit of contact between him and Cameron. He's spun Cam. More contact between these two, and I don't know what. Jay's actually retired, so that could be a penalty added to the end of the race. Not the end of the race, end of next week's race, because that was definitely Jay's fault in my opinion there. Bit of contact and Cameron will be furious. Cameron is into the pits. I know Jay will apologise for that. Cameron is into the pits. What tyre strategy is he going to go on? Is he going to go on a set of mediums? No, he doesn't. He goes on a set of hard tyres. So now he can possibly make these to the end. Let's see what Cameron can do. Will Matthew Alder pass him? See if Lee cuts the corner. No. What about the ball? No, he doesn't either. Right now, though, there's only a two-way scrap now for the lead, which is being ended in tears with Cameron Young and Jay with that incident. That'll definitely be investigated at the end of the race. Sterling Zayas just past Jay's. It crashed the car. As here comes Mark now. Mark is in trouble because Tom has got no one to worry about behind him. However, Mark has to worry about his teammate. His teammate could get a good undercut on him. He has to gain around about an extra 5 seconds with that wing damage. We'll have to wait and see. This is the only closest battle we have on track currently, but Mark gets a brilliant exit out of the final corner there. Gap between leader and Matthew, 30.5 seconds. Matthew's hardly gaining any time between these two drivers. And Tom just gains and gains, but just doesn't have enough downforce to make an attempt of a move into turn 1. And that DRS isn't really helping that much. As we'll go on board with Can and Nino, as we see the fast lap is actually from Matthew still. So Can's actually staying with Nino on those medium tyres. There's no further battles on track. Back to the battle, into the lead. Currently the gap now shrunk to 0.3 of a second. Tom is now starting to put the pace down and catch up with Mark. Mark needs to worry. As we can see that in the cockpit view, Mark's actually on 0 ERS. What about Tom? Is Tom on that? Tom is also on 0 ERS, so they're not really pushing the car. Probably trying to save tyres, see if they can make it end, but look how close Tom is. Tom is so close right now in that sector. Oh, but that little mistake could have lost him a bit of time. Wait and see how he takes the chicane. Will he gain time or will he lose time? Because you can see he just gains a lot. Both fast drivers seem slow. However, Mark just gets a better exit. But this could be within attacking distance. It's going to be a push to do. But here comes Tom now flying up to Mark. Will he make a lunge into turn 1 or will Mark go back defensive? Mark sees him on the outside. Mark does defend on the inside. And no attempt so far. That was close. Tom was actually to Mark then. Had to lift off a little bit there with the dirty air. So that is very unfortunate for Tom to not make that uptick at the moment. He's currently 2 tenths down on his PB. Brandon Glover's actually currently in P3, so I did say if Jay or any other driver in the top 4 battle collided, Brandon could easily get a podium. And right now it looks like Mercedes, and look at that, you can tell Cameron is frustrated. Sets a new fastest lap, 1:28.20.8. A bit faster than Matthew Alder. Matthew Alder's time was a 1:20.9, so only a 10th difference. But Cameron Young is just showing his frustration in the fastest lap time currently right now, as he was in a good position, going to get another podium added to his career. Watching that happen, and his teammate is going in the lead of this race. So the Haas could have had a 1-2, so it's actually ruined the Haas team right there. They could have had a 1-2, as I believe Tom has got a 3-second time penalty. I could be wrong, unless that was Can. As now they're approaching the final corner. Again, Tom is close, but it's just not close enough. He needs to get a better exit, use either more ERS, use more fuel, attack that corner a lot more, but he's still going to try and attempt for it, but he's just nowhere near. Right now, and this is the only battle on track. Well, look, oh, Mark's made a little mistake, runs wide. But he doesn't have to worry because that dirty air is going to affect Tom into turn 3 and just shove him wide, and he has to slow down to actually make that corner. As currently right now, this is getting really heated. You can just tell as Lee Kelly peels back into the pits. So he's only done 9 laps on those mediums. Does he know those tyres can't make it to the end, or what? I don't know what strategy he's trying to do. In my opinion, he should have gone on hards and on softs. But he's into the pits on a new set of hard tyres. They will make it to the end with a push. Same with Cameron though. Cameron's tyres may just make it. Depends how good he is with his tyre saving. It's currently Tom is flying right now. Look, a lot close, but he's going to lose it on exit speed. Is he? Yes, again, 6 tenths. It's just not close. No, he needs to be within 5 or 4.5 tenths to even have a chance to attack Mark. He isn't going for a lunge or anything, so he's been very smart though, waiting and just taking his time with the car. Now he's entering into turn 2 there. But it's just turn 3 where he's just losing a lot of time. I do apologise if you guys can hear fireworks into the background. Some people are lighting them up. As Tom is currently still 0.5 of a second off Mark. I've got to say that Matthew Alder, even with that bit of contact at the start of the race, currently in 6th, and I did say if he avoided any incidents, it would be possibly 5th or 4th, but currently with the incident, he's actually only 6th place after Jay has retired. Oh, look how close Tom is now. Just look how close he gets into entry of sector 3 now, but then he just, oh, Mark's made a mistake. Mark has made a little bit of a mistake there, which is now gifted Tom a few extra tenths to close on. Would this be Tom's final chance to actually make an attempt to move before they do the undercut? Look how close he is, but he's going to lose a bit of time. It's within 5 tenths though. Has Tom got close enough this time? As Mark cracked under pressure, we'll have to wait and see. Is Tom going to make a move? He's going on the outside, but he just doesn't look close enough, and it isn't. He's a lot more time as Brandon peels in the pits after 12 laps on those medium tyres, as that's promoted his teammate Nino Romanello into 3rd place. Where will Brandon come on track? As I don't believe Tom is actually going to get past Mark. There is Matthew Alder coming out the final corner. Will Brandon actually steal this? As Matthew just sits 120.7, I believe a 10th faster than Cameron Young now. Brandon and Matthew neck and neck into turn 1. Will Brandon take it from him? We'll have to wait and see. Oh, very close between those two drivers there, and he gets ahead of Cameron Young by a few seconds there, which is gut wrenching for Cameron. As for some reason I can't actually select. No, wrong button. I do apologise that. For some reason it won't let me select Mark there. As now we're back on board with Mark, as it looks like Tom's actually backed off a little bit there. I don't think there will be a possible battle between Brandon and Matthew. Matthew is on maybe harder tyres, but Brandon's tyres are going to take a while to eat up, and I believe Matthew is possibly the fastest driver currently, as Mark peels into the pits, so he's going in for the undercut, which could work, and Tom is going for the overcut. So let's see what Tom can do with his fast lap, as we'll go on board with Brandon actually, because Brandon's actually quite close to Matthew than what I expected. And remember, Matthew's tyres will be a lot worn down near the end of the race if he tries to take him to the end, which I don't believe he will, as Can also pits. Nino stays out on those hard tyres, which in my opinion is the right call. Oh, Brandon makes a mistake again out of that final corner with the rear sliding, and has just lost too much time to Matthew now. Very unfortunate. What about Mark? Mark is safe ahead of Matthew, so Matthew currently in 4th place, and Mark, this isn't good for Tom. Mark is in clean air. So see where Tom is right now. He's only approaching into sector 2. End of sector 2 now. We'll stand by to the battle for P4, because Brandon is closing back up to Matthew. But as soon as Tom pits, I will go back on board with him to see where he will come out, like where in between Mark or ahead of Mark. Brandon's getting a bit of time in the final part of the sector, but he's going to gain a lot of time with DRS, and DRS is active for the Mercedes. But Tom is in. Tom is in, as we will see. Peels in the pits. Brandon's not close enough right now. What is Nino? Is Nino staying out? Nino will be the net leader currently. Sorry, provisional leader currently is. Here comes Tom. What about Mark? Mark's approaching the final corner now. Has he jumped Tom by a huge margin? And it looks like he has. We'll have to wait and see what the gap is going to be. As it looks like actually Brandon made a mistake there. And yes, he's actually lost time. And this is good for Mark. Currently right now 1.1 seconds over Tom currently, as Nino Romanello is still provisional leader, as this is now going to make Mark the net leader. And the only battle we do have on track is actually Matthew Alder and Brandon, as EKN Good evening, welcome to the stream. As right now, as Cameron is only 6.4 seconds, he's gaining though on Brandon quite quickly as Lee peels into the pits again. I don't know what Lee has done, but Lee has just ruined his strategy, and I have to say it again, he needs to fix this race strategy out because he's making too many mistakes and it's costing him points, even podiums, even wins currently right now. But Brandon is slowly catching back up with Matthew. Actually no, he's actually now losing time. And Cameron is flying. 4/10 he's gained within this lap. Right now, Cameron could save his race and get a podium position. Or will Brandon stop this? We'll have to wait and see. As it's not really a close battle currently, so we will stay on board with the net leader currently right now, Nino Romanello. I've got to give Nino a bit of credit after he had that long break and has come back fighting top pace already. Not the best qualifying so far, but his racecraft is decent. He's like the reverse of Lee Kelly there, as his yellows in sector 2, and that is Lee Kelly. I don't know what he's doing, but he's just going off the track on soft tyres, trying to steal the fastest lap, and that ain't going to help his chances with those tyres basically ruined. Yellows again in sector 2, I believe that is Lee. Yeah, I think it was, just to let a driver through. I believe Nino possibly will pit on lap 18 or lap 20. Because right now, let's work out where he would pit. Now I believe the pit stop idea is around about 21 seconds to 23. So he would split Can and Cameron there, so he would drop to 6th place if he pits now. And he is losing a little bit of time to Cameron, but not that much time actually from Can. He's actually putting away a little bit, which could help him out in the race right now, as Mark is gaining as well. 6.4 seconds currently between him and Nino Romanello, as Lee Kelly has retired. I don't know what is going on with him today. He's crashed it through sector 3, so we'll go on board with Sterling. I know it's his AI, but we'll go on board with Sterling as we will see where he's lost it. As here we go, approach now in sector 3. I don't see a car. I believe I do see a car. Actually no, I don't. Where is he? I don't understand where he's crashed it. Oh, I think he's actually manually retired the car. I think he's called it quits. And he actually has called it quits. So that is unfortunate for Lee, because he could have got a point. Could have stole the fastest lap and got a point. Lee Kelly has retired from the session. So that's 2 retirements within a few laps. As now Nino surely will be pitting very soon, because Cameron's gaining now a bit now. 5.2 seconds. The last lap was 6.4. Tom is only 2.1 seconds off Mark and lost a lot of time after that undercut. In my opinion, he should have probably pitted the same time Mark did and had a better chance of trying to beat Mark there. But currently right now, Mark looks like he's going to take his first win for IRL. I think it will be his first win, unless Matthew Alder does a miracle. But currently, gap between him and Brandon 1.5 seconds, but the gap between Cameron and Brandon 4.2. As Cameron Young sets the new fastest lap, 120.5, a lot faster than Matthew Alder. But remember, Matthew Alder did it on a lot worn set of tyres, and Matthew will be pitting soon, because if Nino can't make them last 20 laps, that's what Matthew will be hoping, is see how long Nino can take those tyres on the massive fuel load he had, and see if he can stretch it. So he has left the session, so he has officially left lobby, and it would be unfortunate. Sorry, gets his first penalty added to his time. Gotta say that Bottles actually managed to avoid the incident, not actually being in the back of the grid, and he had a little bit of a fight with him and Sterling and Lee Kelly. And surely Nino has to pit. Those tyres are surely dead. But I did say within 18 to 20 laps, so. And so we have seen a Mercedes driver do this before. His name was Adrian Storm in IRL F2. Whose tyres completely failed at last lap. They did a one stop, did run about 23 to 24 laps and just lost it, and unfortunately lost the podium out of it. But Nino's not in a podium position, but Matthew is currently right now if he doesn't pit. So will Matthew attempt what Adrian Storm unfortunately didn't succeed? Cameron is still catching up with Brandon. Currently the gap 3.8 seconds. He's gaining around about 4 to 5 tenths a lap. As Tom has lost a lot of time. 2.8 seconds now from Mark. As Sondre peels into the pits as he got wing damage. Since there's no battles, we will have a look and see if he has got any wing damage. As he's into the pits. No front wing, it's a change of tyres on the set of medium, so he's going to try and steal the fast lap for the Renault team to salvage some points after another costly race so far today. It's Nino lap 19 on those tyres. Now I know there won't be any information between the Mercedes crew and the Renault crew, but I know there'll be some information between Nino and Brandon. And this actually could work for Brandon in a way, because Nino could cost Mark some time, which make Tom catch up, and then Matthew catch up, and eventually Bran may catch up, but Nino will have to probably stay out for another 6 laps. But I know that is not happening because he's in the pit, so this isn't a good sign for Matthew Alder, especially right now. Only roughly around about 20 laps, 19 laps those tyres lasted. Will Matthew peel into the pits? And yes, he does. So Matthew quits that strategy and will go on a faster tyre. Now a 2-stop is possible to get a podium, but this now promotes Brandon Glover in P3. Sorry Storm, you know I have to bring that involved, but unfortunately he's not going to have that little poor memory today. You got to give it your Storm, you were very quick last season, you're even quicker this season, so got to admit that it was a fun race between you and me and Paco. But enough about last season. This is IRL F1 2019 season 6 with Brandon Glover 8.8 seconds off Tom, with Sterling's lapped AI dead ahead. So it looks like there will be a battle for P3 very shortly if Cameron starts to pick up his pace. Currently the gap 3 seconds currently right now, and the gap stabilised between Tom and Mark, currently 2.7 seconds. So Mark may have made a little mistake, as Matthew has jumped his teammate by a big margin actually. Currently 7th and 8th. This reminds me of Italy last week, as Nino's actually not that far off Cameron, so the Mercedes team could get a lot of points here. Could Nino come back out of nowhere from the back of the grid? I know it wasn't not a lot of drivers, but still from the back of the grid to probably steal a podium off his teammate and off Cameron. He is on the faster tyre and he hasn't got a penalty, as Mark has got a 3-second time penalty. That is crucial, because I remember Tom doesn't have a penalty, I believe, so that could be crucial. And the way it's going, Tom could still win this race by 0.2 of a second. As Nino's like running a bit wide, and that's a penalty for Nino, and that is deserved there, running a bit wide. Currently the gap between Brandon and Cameron, 2.1 seconds. Cameron's starting to pick up the pace a lot more, but possibly Brandon lost a bit of time trying to pass the AI of Sterling. Will Cameron lose a bit of time, which will cost him against Nino? Nino's only 1.3 seconds. So will Nino be in attack mode? Will Nino be in the higher ERS, higher fuel mix? Will he have all the power Mercedes can give him to try and catch up with Cameron Young? And he is catching very slowly on those medium tyres. And Brandon's got to figure out what he's going to do. Will he battle with his team if his team even catches up with him? As look at this AI just holding up Cameron, and Sterling gets out of the way. Sterling's AI was costing Cameron Young a lot of time, and this is now going to affect Nino a little bit, but it's actually giving him a bit of DRS and a bit of slipstream, as the AI does get out of the way, thankfully, as Nino does still set the fast lap 120.5. He probably can go a lot faster without the AI there. And now he is almost within DRS range of Cameron Young, but Matthew Alder sets a new faster start, 119.6, 1 second quicker than Nino Romanello, and Cameron Young's only 1.4 seconds off Brandon Young for P3. So this is a possible battle, 2 Mercedes drivers and a Haas driver for P3 very shortly in the next few laps, because currently the top 2 is settled currently right now, with a gap of 10 seconds, almost roughly 12 seconds from Brandon from the leader, and 10 seconds from Tom to Brandon almost. So we'll have to wait and see what Nino can do, and Nino is almost within DRS range. Cameron is going to have to worry soon. Those hard tyres are not going to feel as fresh as Brandon's, Nino, this is where Nino excels at. Managing his tyres, managing his fuel, managing anything he can. Just to gain the extra time and trying to pass the driver ahead. As here comes Nino into the chicane. Oh, bit of a bump there on the car. Gap is under a second and he is within DRS range before Cameron is in DRS range of Brandon. So Brandon is saved a little bit for an extra lap. So this three-way battle for P3 is starting to heat up with Can only 10 seconds behind. So he's not going to catch up anytime soon. So I don't expect Matthew Alder to catch. It is possible with only 10 laps remaining of the race, but I doubt it right now. It's actually Matthew and Can are actually approaching each other, and Cameron is within the DRS range now as well. So this is basically going to be the same battle what him and his teammate with Tom had at the start, but Mark is currently safe for pole position right now, 3.2 seconds. So that means Mark's picked up the pace since he's realised he has a bit of a penalty. But look how close Cameron Young is there against Brandon. He's a lot faster and he's got his DRS out. Will he go for a dive into the double left-hander? No, he doesn't. He buys his time. He knows he's going to be could possibly get him within the main straight. But is this tactics though? Could Brandon be backing Cameron Young into Nino, so Nino has a chance actually to get a podium? Oh, bit of mistake into the chicane there, and that's cost him a bit of time, and that ain't going to help Brandon at all. As you can see, Brandon's trying to break the slipstream, is defending. That is his first defense move, that's his own defense move, and he goes on the inside now to defend. Will he hold the P3 spot? He breaks late. Cameron is alongside, gets the entry into turn 2. Very nice and tidy there from Cameron Young, and excelled there to get past, but he has to now start to build up a gap before Nino Romanello gets past, because Brandon must be thinking now that Nino is going to be a lot faster on those medium tyres, and possible team wants to play it and switch them around, as actually Can's peeled into the pits as Matthews been promoted actually to 6th, and team orders have been played. Nino Romanello is now in 4th place, and Cameron Young is not going to like that. Nino will be a lot faster on those medium tyres, but he's going to have to get the job done very soon, because those tyres won't be as strong as ever, especially when Brandon did peel into pits on lap 12. And it's the only big scrap currently right now, as there will be a possible scrap possibly between Can and Sondre. As look how close Nino is on those medium tyres. He's a lot faster than Cameron, and Cameron will be annoyed about this with the incident at the start of the race. But Nino will be loving it. Nino will have a huge smile. I know what Nino's personality is. He's happy when someone is in danger of losing a position. As here comes Nino Romanello, just gaining and gaining and gaining, but just at the moment just losing it. Same as what Mark was doing to Tom, just losing the time on the final corner. Not the best entry into turn 3 though there from Nino Romanello as he runs wide, and remember Nino's got a 3-second time penalty, so Nino has to get past and build a 3-second gap, because I don't think Cameron has got a penalty, but I could be wrong. Cameron could do a salvage job and get P3. This Brand's dropped quite off the pit screen right now, 1.7 seconds. Ooh, a bit of a mistake there from Nino, not the best attempt to make that corner. Nino's still within DRS, and Cameron is going to have to fight for his life. As currently right now 12 viewers on the stream, so the viewers are starting to clock up. This is very good. As look out, Nino is getting annoyed. You can just tell. Look how close he's. This is probably why there was contact actually between Cameron and Jay, because the way Cameron takes that chicane is very slow. Nino was a bit wide, but Nino's a lot closer, within 0.3 of a second. This is where Nino Romanello excels at on the straight, going on the outside of Cameron Young. Cameron Young can do nothing to stop the Italian to take P3 of this race, and Cameron gets a 3-second time penalty. That is crucial for this battle. Nino is saved at the moment for P3 right now, unless he gets another penalty added to his time. Nino needs to focus and just stay within track limits and not get a penalty, and he probably will pull away from Cameron Young since he's on the faster tyre, and Nino will be loving it right now. Oh, that's another 3-second time penalty. Nino, I did the commentator curse there for Nino. This is now spicing it up even more. Now Cameron's within DRS and he will gain back up into the straight. But Cameron now may realise he may not have to worry that Nino's got a 6-second time penalty now added to his time. Here comes Cameron now in the entry turn. Well, I don't even know what turn this is. Lower right-hander. But gain a lot of time. Ooh. I thought Brandon there made a little mistake there, but that was wrong there. But look. Cameron doesn't really gain time on Nino in the chicane. Nino's a lot faster. And just look, you can just tell. Sondre gets a 3-second time penalty to his time. So in my opinion, I actually think Nino could actually build this 3-second gap as long as he can break the toe of the DRS range of Cameron. The gap now 0.4 of a second. Exactly 0.4 right now. Back to 0.5. So Nino does gain a bit more time. Nino stays within track limits this time. Cameron doesn't know. He goes over the white line, so that could be a warning. As Storm saying Cameron as toxic is giving him time out. Actually, that is, I've just clocked. Cameron may have to pit. He's on lap 19 on a set of hard tyres. Great spot there, Storm. I've got to give you that, because I wasn't paying attention to that. I was paying attention to the battle, really. But right now, that actually could help Nino. Nino's only got 7 laps done on those mediums, and they will fall out in a few laps' time. However, Cameron is in territory of a puncher. But right now, he's staying within DRS range, which could help him. But it ain't going to help his tyre life. You're alright there, Thomas. Cameron has had enough and he's going on the inside into turn 1 and he makes the move stick. Nino won't be happy. But Cameron will to just take his P3. Oh, both run wide there. That'll both have him warning. So probably one more warning for Cameron and that'll be another 3-second time penalty added to his time. And to stay on board with Cameron Young this time, who will be defending his position into P3. There's only a few laps remaining of this race. He's a pad user, mate. So pad users do get worse than tyre wear because it's not smooth as wheel users do it. Although pad users do get the advantage with the traction, so kind of evens it out. But here comes Cameron Young coming into the chicane. Those tyres, in my opinion, those tyres look alright. They're in, actually the right side actually starting to go a little bit, as you can see. So the tyre life is starting to fall. Lap 20 now. Right now it's Cameron Young and Nino who are on the vote, in my opinion, to drive the day today. They're literally on the verge for that. As here comes Cameron. Oh, more exchange track limits from now. The drivers are trying to steady the pace of their car, but Cameron runs a bit wide. Those tyres must be dying because look how close Nino is getting on the brakes there. I think there's punch. I think Storm right. There could be a puncher, and it could either cost both drivers a position, or it could just cost one driver, and that's Cameron. Brandon gets a 3-second time penalty added to his time. I believe that's his first penalty. And he's not within the gap between him and Nino. Currently 5.6. He was if he didn't have a penalty. Right now, actually, Matthew's come out of nowhere. Right now, he's catching up with Bran. So we will go on board with that battle very shortly, but I've got to stay on board with the battle with Nino and Cameron Young. As you can just see, those tyres are dead on that Haas driver. Miles quicker now. This is the chance for Nino. He's got 2 laps. If he gets past 2 laps, and he is going to get past, he's got 2 laps. Cameron doesn't even fight. He knows he's got a penalty. What about Matthew Alder? Will he even catch? He's closing and geez, he's closing with a lot of time there, and doesn't catch too close. As we'll stay aboard of Cameron, because it may be interesting to see if he does get a punch. And that rear doesn't look good. That right rear tyre doesn't look good on my point of view there. I think that right rear is going to go. Have to wait and see, as I don't really want to miss it. But right now he is losing time. 5/10 currently the gap is. If he loses any more time, he will be out of DRS. Got to give it though. Those tyres do not look nice. Put in the comments, guys, when you think Cameron may get a punch and what lap it will be before the end of the race, because I don't think those tyres are going to last to the end of the race right now. I thought it went then. I heard a bang. I thought they went. Last lap could happen. Last lap, I think it happened to you on the second last lap, I believe, Storm, or last, I can't remember, but it happened for you, so you know how it feels. If this ruins it, it could cost Cameron a podium, and he's still fighting with Nino, which is going to ruin his tyres even more, and he just doesn't care. He just wants to finish this race at lap 32, so the penultimate lap, and Brandon and Matthew are battling out for P5. Matthew's defending on the inside. Great move there from Matthew, order to get past Brandon after a two-stop with a bit of contact at the start of the race. So Nino, Matthew and Cameron are doing excellent today with their stretch, but look how close Nino gets again on Cameron, as we'll be putting up to the penultimate lap, the final lap, very shortly, so we'll go on board with Mark soon, which we could miss a tyre blowout from Cameron Young. Yeah, I've got to give him them. Matthew and Nino and Cameron are on the verge. I don't know who to vote for at the moment, but vote in the comments or vote in the chats if you're in the IRL F1 chat. As look how close Nino's getting. He just wants to get past, and this is just ruining his race. He knows he's faster than this. I've got to give it to the Cam though. He's just managing to manage those tyres. Nino's close, and we're on the final lap of the race. Will Nino get past before the puncher, or will Cameron somehow make those tyres last 25 laps? As here comes Nino thinking about it, but he doesn't go for the lunge. He could have gone for it. There was enough space, but he just didn't feel it was safe enough. And those tyres on Nino's car on lap 12 when his teammate paid on a set of fast tyres. And this is where, Storm, you lost and got a puncher. Cameron doesn't suffer the fate there this time, so we'll have to wait and see. Will he go near the end? And when they approach into the fast right, I think he's got a puncher. Has he got a puncher? Yes, yes he does. His rear's gone, he's round. He does get a puncher. Storm, you were correct on the final lap, just a few corners after your race, but it didn't blow out as much as I thought it would be. And this is actually putting Matthew Alder into P4, but I'm got to say, right now Nino is definitely in for the drive day. Cameron close for second and Matthew third, but what a drive from SP. Got a bit of contact at the start with Jay and Tom, and wins the Spanish Grand Prix. Great drive for him. He'll be over the moon with that and get 25 points to his name. As here comes Tom in second. Good drive for him in P2 after he did qualify first, I believe. Nino Romanello from last fighted with Cameron Young, with Matthew Alder at one point to take P3. So Nino Romanello gets the final podium spot with Matthew in fourth after a bit of a bad start, and comes back fighting with Brandon fifth. And look at this. He's quick. Cameron Young is holding the AI of Sterling. Is just getting shoved through the car right now, and that left has gone. I thought it would have rear blue, and it has blue. Will can get ahead of Cameron Young very soon. We'll have to wait and see, but Cameron is just limping that car to the line. Great driving there from Cameron to bring it back to 6th place. Lost him a podium position. It was a push, as I said it would be. And actually, I think Can actually lost in the position to Sondre there, actually. I don't know. Something changed. Great driving there from Matthew, though, after he said he had to take an extra stop. As there we have it. The Haas driver finally stops the Alpha, and the Renault streak are winning And Mark wins his first round of IRL F1 Season 6 in Spain. He takes pole and wins with Tom in second place, and with Nino Romanello a surprise third, but deserving it nonetheless after that close fight with Cameron, which got let down with a puncher. As now we will approach the official results. I do apologise if you can start hearing those fireworks. As here is our official results with only a 3-second time penalty added to Mark's time. Still gets pole from starting second on the grid, with Tom starting first, losing position to second. Nino Romanello comeback drive from 11th place, which was last, with third. Matthew Alder 4th place with a penalty after a comeback drive as well, after the contact at the start, but good drive there from Matthew. Brandon in 5th place, good drive from him today. And Cameron Young lost a lot of time, unfortunately, with that puncher, cost him the race today with a podium. And Sondre, close 7th, lost the position with a bit of contact at the start as well, with Can in 8th, with the final driver finishing the race, with 9th, 10th and 11th drivers not finishing at all. But great drives from everyone today. And as I'm going to now invite the podium interviewers to the interview right now, as I need to invite Mark and Tom and Nino Romanello, so hopefully they can make it into the session. It's LTU Tom, innit? Yes it is. I'll just invite Nino. And they've been invited, so we'll have to wait for them to now join. As Matthew and Matthew and Sondre are discussing what happened between Jay at the start. Oh, I can get you a little bit of information. Tom it was 3 wide into turn 1, and there was just no space, and a bit of contact happened. As Nino has joined the party, we will interview him in a minute if anybody else joins. If it's just as we wait, as I'm just going to make sure. Is your party on always allow, Nino? Good one. Mark, same with you. Is your party on always allow? As I don't think Tom is going to join, but if he does join at the end, I will interview him. As I'm going to go on board with the race winner today, and that is Mark. Congratulations, I believe, on your first win of the IRL actually season. What were your thoughts of the race today?
It was a good one. The first stint with the fight with Tom, that was good. So to make sure, I had to go for the undercut. Even though the undercut's better than this track, I still had to go and try it, and luckily I paid off.
Yeah, I've got to give you that. That undercut was very smart doing, and it worked out extremely well. You pulled up a gap over a second, and Tom had nothing to match you with that on the second stint. However, though, the incident between you and Tom and Jay at the start, 3 wide into turn 1, can you tell us who you think was at fault and your insight of that, or?
I wouldn't have a clue. I just got squeezed, and that's all I know of. I had nowhere to go, so I was just stuck in the middle.
Well, another question is, how were the tyres at the end of the stint? Were they managing as well? Because as your teammate, unfortunately, he got a puncher after taking those tyres 25 laps.
They were good. I got my fastest lap in the last lap somehow, so they were doing well for myself.
Ah, right. Well, my final question I'm going to ask you is for next week. Just give me 2 seconds to find the calendar. Next week is Bahrain on the 9th of November. What do you think of that track, and what position you're hoping to finish compared to everybody else on the grid?
I like that track, so hopefully top 5. If like all the top runners show up, then hopefully top 5 obviously.
Okay, so top 5 for you. Well, I've got to say congratulations on your win today, well deserved, and thank you for joining me in for the interview, as I'm about to go on board with Nino Romanello. Just make sure everything is correct. Yep. Nino, congratulations, well deserved my drive of the day for you. From back of the grid after a restart had to happen since there was a glitch with you not getting in your car. Yeah. What is your feelings with that podium position of the way your position was at the start of the race?
Yeah, obviously turn 1 helped me massively because a big crash, but yeah, I just tried to keep out of trouble for my first run, and then pitted, and then just started the chase then, and thankfully Cameron got a puncture on the last lap. But yeah, no, happy first podium of the F1 season, so pretty happy.
Yeah, I've got to ask you though, before I ask you anything else about your race, your qualifying. What happened in quali? We heard you got disqualified and...
So, I spun, and I just went to spin around, and it disqualified me for going the wrong way.
Ah, yeah, that is a bit of an issue. Well then...
It wasn't going backwards properly, it just...
Yeah. Well, the other question I'm going to ask, was there team orders between you and your teammate when you were trying to catch up with Cameron? Because I thought definitely there was. You were on the faster tyre, so...
Might have been a little bit.
Ah.
Yeah. So Brandon did a good job there. Yeah. Thanks for the lead to him, yeah.
Well, then he's done very well. He did a very good comeback. It looked like he was actually going to get a podium. So great driving from the Mercedes team today. A lot of points to add to your constructors. And the final question I am going to ask you is Bahrain. Where do you think you're going to finish there?
Oh, I do like Bahrain. So hopefully maybe top 5 if I can perform at my best. But if not, top 10 is really good for me. So
top 10 for you against everybody else in this lobby. Well, I've got to give it to you, mate. My drive of the day, absolutely. You were very close with Cameron for drive of the day. If Cameron finished 3rd and got those tyres to the end, then it would have been him. But great drive today from the back of the grid. And I'll see you next week for Bahrain.
Thank you.
You're welcome. As I'm about to invite Tom again, I think he had a internet problem, invite problem, so just give me 2 seconds, guys. I did, didn't I? Actually, apologies, Tom, if you are in the stream. If I've not invited you, I thought I did. LTU_Tom. Yeah. Oh, that's why I invited the wrong account. My apologies. If that is yours, I'll just send another one just to make sure. I've invited the wrong account. My apologies. As I'm waiting for Tom to... Well, Tom, before you start your interview, mate, I've just got to make sure your mic is on always allow. Is it on always allow? Is it? Alright, mate, good. Apologies for the late invite. I invited your wrong account.
Yeah.
Well, I've got to give it to you, mate. You qualified pole position. Looked like a possible race win for you today. But you got 2nd in the end. How do you feel with this podium position, and how do you feel the race went in general?
First podium, so it's a really good result. I'm disappointed not to convert pole into victory, but I know the reason why I'm being at the victory today. I think I didn't realise the outlap in Spain was that strong. I didn't realise Maha was going to have such a powerful outlap, which we did, and he caused 1.7 seconds, and then it was just so hard to close that. He just kept on building the gap.
Yeah, it was very stable. It was around about 2.8 seconds, around about lap 18,
yeah,
I believe.
Once I realised he had a penalty, it was just, if I pushed harder, and his tyres may wear out, but it wasn't the case. He carried the price home, so good on him.
Nonetheless, though, mate, you did get a P2 in the end, so it's very good to get your first podium. Anyway, but the other thing I do got to ask is the turn 1, 3 wide between you and Mark and Jay. Was there, what contact was there? Who was at fault in your opinion?
I think, yeah, so they were, I think, both got really good. I didn't know where Jay was actually. I was more paying attention to Mark actually rather than Jay, so I don't know if Jay got hit in that. But I was on the outside and Mark was on the inside. We both broke quite late, but I steered more towards the apex, but I still gave plenty of room, so there was a little bit of contact racing.
Yeah, well, anyway, the last question I am going to ask you is Bahrain next week. Where do you feel
Yeah,
you're going to be in pace to everybody else?
I'm really looking forward to Bahrain's strongest tracks in the entire calendar. Really looking forward to Bahrain and I've put quite a lot of practice into it.
It's very good to hear, and hope we see you on the podium again for Bahrain. But nonetheless, good result for P2 today. Could have got the win, but the undercut what Mark did was a bit faster. But great driving from you today, Tom, and I'll see you next week for Bahrain.
Alright, cool, thank you.
Anytime, mate. Well then, this has been International Racing League IRL Season 6 F1 Spain. So yeah, today's winner, and I believe he did get the fastest lap, he did say it was Mark, and the driver of the day in my opinion is Nino Romanelli, who got third from the back of the grid. But if you want to see more action-packed racing, join us for tomorrow for F2 and F3 at 4:30 UK time, and if you want to see round 9, join us next week on Saturday at 6 PM UK time. Goodbye for now.